The biggest threat are the voters. The voters that keep voting for self-destruction, mass migration, inflation, all that bullshit. And you can see it in Spain. Illegal migrants by the masses invade Spain. And then you can say, oh, I hate these migrants, they're illegal, they're crossing the border, they're invading Europe, they're invading Spain. But actually, the real problem is the voters. The voters who keep voting for these policies, allowing this to happen. The real problem are the politicians allowing this to happen. The real problem is society, big corporations, global corporations wanting this to happen, allowing this to happen. This is not an accident. This is happening on purpose. This is happening because Spain is allowing this to happen. And pretty much every other country in Europe too. You know, without like few exceptions. I don't know, Poland. I don't know. So it's so little exceptions, it doesn't really matter. But, and of course, the United States, it's the same problem with pretty much every Western country. And the problem are the people, the voters, the politicians who support this system, who support these policies. And then you can say, oh, well, that's nothing new. Or maybe it is. But tell me something I don't know. Well, I'm going to tell you something you probably don't know. And this is making the entire situation so much worse. Yeah, buckle up. So they did a study with a end times cult. And this cult believed in a gigantic flood. And they had the date and the time, but the flood never came. You know, like a biblical flood that's gonna end all life on earth. And the flood didn't came. So now you would think, well, that's the end of the cult, right? That day, the cult ended, right? The cult members said, well, the flood didn't came, so I guess this whole cult was just a bunch of bullshit in the first place. But now comes the kicker. What happened? Did the cult members leave the cult? Did the cult end it? Did the cult dissolve? No. No. No, no, no. The cult remained. The cult stayed. The members stayed. So their belief in the flood only cemented and got stronger, even though the flood didn't came and never came. You see the problem here? So when I say the voters are the biggest problem, they are the biggest problem. because you can never convince these people that they're wrong, just like in the cult. And why is that? Well, it's because human beings that organize in a group act like a cult. And I can prove it. Science can prove it. Studies can prove it. So, most of you idiots are worse than sheeps. Sheeps are intelligent compared to you. Because you believe, like cult members, in something, and even if that something, the God you believe in, doesn't exist, and you get proven it doesn't exist, you still keep believing, like the cult members from the flood. And there you have it, folks. That's the proof. You are beyond mentally retarded. You are worse than just brainwashed zombie sheep, because you actively believe in something, and you keep believing in something that is absolutely self-destructive and completely absurd, and even doesn't exist, and even is not even true. And this is the case for just way too many people. And this is actually very bad news. Because in a democracy where you have the biggest, most incompetent people in politics, you this is so absurd. You give the most incompetent people the power. That's already a recipe for disaster. And then you have a whole voter base that is acting like cult members. So nothing is ever going to change. With this kind of a system, democracy, how you call it, is just really the biggest problem, the biggest scam, and the biggest threat, like an existential threat. I'm not just talking about like your culture, your history, all that's gonna be destroyed. Your gene pool is gonna be destroyed. Your heritage, your your entire civilization, your entire country, so to speak, and of course, everything that comes with it, like the money system, the economy, stuff like this. I'm not just talking about that being destroyed. I'm talking about your life is gonna be destroyed. I'm talking about you dying. That's what I'm talking about. And just like the cult members, you never learn. And just like the cult members, you never think. And just like the cult members, you are extremely dangerous because of it. Because you never learn, you never change, you never admit that you're wrong. You always want to be right. And you always stay on course, even if you have been proven wrong. So your behavior is practically insanity. Like, this is, scientifically speaking, the definition of insanity. So now, I guess we're living in a, like, open border insane asylum where the inmates run the asylum and everyone's pretending everything is fine. Folks, this is gonna end badly. This is gonna end very, very badly. But I really I'm really tired of explaining it. I gotta admit. Because it feels like I'm saying more or less the same things for over 26 years. Like, you didn't understand The Truman Show, which was very easy to understand and an excellent movie. And you didn't understand The Matrix. And you didn't understand 9/11, when Building 7 just collapsed for no reason. And it got announced on the news that it collapsed before it actually collapsed. So you can still see that shot from the news anchor telling you Building 7 collapsed when it's actually still standing right behind him. You didn't see that. You didn't want to see that. You didn't want to learn. You didn't want to grow. You didn't want to know. Just like the cult members. So, what does that mean? Well, it basically means you're gonna lose everything, including your life. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next time. I'm MINIMAN, grow that trying.